Hello, everyone. Welcome to this webinar. Can everybody hear me okay? Just leave a comment in the chat if you can. Great. And see me too, Jonas? Awesome. Great. All right, I will shortly get started. Let me just share my screen. All right, everybody see my screen as well? Just to confirm that. Perfect. All right. Thank you all for coming to this webinar where we will quickly go through the main principles for how you can add 30 to 40% more revenue through email marketing in 2023. We are DTC Vikings. We help D2C brands scale. And we were founded with two people who started the company. My partner, Daniel, has worked 3 years at Deloitte before and advised 10 plus brands and started Deloitte's AI Center of Excellence before he co-founded Volant and DTC Vikings with me. While I have been doing multiple entrepreneurial endeavors, among them Mojob, a SaaS that we raised $2 million for and sold to Otiga Group, where I led about different R&D projects before I co-founded Volant with Daniel. And the brand we made is called Volant, and we make beautifully crafted stone diffusers and 100% organic essential oils that scents your home naturally and creates a oasis of well-being. And with email marketing and general D2C marketing, we have bootstrapped Volant and built it to $8 million in total revenue. 32% of that is returning customers, and then we have 43% of that revenue coming from email, and 61% is outside of our home market, which is Norway. We've also been featured in various magazines and newspapers, among them Vogue, Cosmopolitan, and also Pagefly, which is the biggest page builder on Shopify, that featured us as the big top 10 best Shopify sites. The agenda for today is that I will go through why email marketing is important, and then go through some principles and strategies you can have in the back of your head when making a plan for how you're going to succeed with email marketing. Then I will go through the 5 steps you need to follow to be successful. And number 1 is to acquire emails, make sure people get your emails, build a framework and a strategy, and then how you segment and use flows, and then putting it all together to make amazing emails that generate revenue. Lastly, we'll have a Q&A where you can ask me anything. So why should you care about email marketing right now? For the first thing is the timing. Right now, we see that consumer spending is slowing down, and we see that disposable income is lower than it has been for the last couple of years, which means that we are probably heading into a recession and everybody needs to sharpen everything they have to be able to survive as a D2C brand. And if you can get everything right and make your business work in these conditions, you can thrive when the wind turns. And we believe that email marketing is a key part of being resilient when the going gets tough. The second point is iOS 14, which made Facebook marketing harder. It got harder to remarket, and it got harder to reach specific audiences, which is not too good for companies that go towards one specific niche. However, email marketing allows you to, for one, remarket to people if you have their email, and you can also increase the lifetime value of the customers you already have that are interested in your brand. And then we also have iOS 15, and that change made it harder to track email marketing as well, meaning that we need to be a little bit more sophisticated about our email marketing to succeed. And in the long run, email is great because it lets you own the customer relationship. There's little chance that you will be unable to send emails to people, while it might very well be that you lose your reach on Instagram to your Instagram followers, as we've seen many times in the past. And it's almost a free marketing channel. It's very cheap to send emails, and it's a key tool for building customer lifetime value and creating an amazing customer journey, supporting your product. That's why we have gone all in on Klaviyo, and we're now a Klaviyo partner. And right now, just this month, I went in yesterday and looked at the result from some of our clients and our own brand. And here you can see we are getting good results. For those who don't know what Norwegian crowns is, this is, you have to remove 1 0 and you have the dollar amount. And you see that we usually do above 30% of the revenue through email, and sometimes we do 40. And this is very, very recent. Just yesterday, I took these print screens from our Klaviyo account. So these are the kinds of results you can achieve if you apply the principles that I will share with you today. So yeah, let's get into it. The 5 keys to email marketing in 2023. The first is to acquire the emails, relevant emails, that is. And method number 1 I'd like to highlight is the classic pop-up. And this is the pop-up that pops up when you come to any page on any website, and it's kind of impossible not to hate it. But the fact is that it works. It does convert cold traffic to warm leads that you have the email of. So here it's all about to learn to master the game, and to, as we say at DTC Vikings, like every D2C brand, every company is a snowflake. Every business is unique. So you need to figure out what is the right strategy for you. What is the right level of aggressivity? You want to make sure that you are, you need to optimize the pop-up by finding the right offer, the right timing for when it should pop up, and also how much of the screen it should cover, how hard it should be to kind of remove it, and how easy it should be to kind of get the discount or offer you're offering. With Volant, we've had best success with just giving a 10% discount to new customers. When they click here, they leave their email and they automatically get the discount activated. So we remove all friction for them to just go ahead and get the purchase done. Number 2, which is one of my favorite also for e-commerce stores, and that is the lead generator. This is simply trading information for email addresses, and you run ads to that lead gen, and you have a back-end offer behind it, and that back-end offer is communicated through a custom email flow. And that custom email flow should be a bit different than your usual flows, because as we've done with Volant here, we are presenting an ebook about the 13 secrets to essential oils written by someone else than us, and the brand is not really in focus. So for all the emails that comes after you download this flow, it's all sent from Dr. Shahid, and she is gradually turning the customer to be more aware of the problems you might have, and then also the solution, and last the brand, and then have a big offer at the end to convert the lead into a customer. Then you have to optimize to gather the emails from your customers. I see many brands not thinking about this, but make it as easy as possible to sign up. And you can also make it required to sign up to the emails to get a welcome discount. And this is, of course, where it's most important to think about this in the checkout, where you can see this checkbox that people need to fill out to get emails from you. Method 4 is giveaways. This is also one of my favorites. And what we usually do is that we partner with other brands who have big email lists. Then all brands are required to market it through their social media channels and email lists. Importantly, though, we don't want to run ads to a site like this because it is usually attracting like bargain hunters. People want things for free but never want to buy, while the brands usually have engaged emails from people who are actually valuable leads. All people that signs up to a giveaway like this ends up on the email list of all the participants. And this is an example from giveaway that we ran with a German purse brand. And we required them to both fill out email and phone number. This allowed us to both get a bit more information from our own customers, but also, of course, get emails from them. And at the end, we gathered more than 1,000 emails and SMS phone numbers from this. So it definitely works. The fifth thing you need to look at is your product packaging. So add a QR code to your product packaging that leads to some kind of lead page. And it could be for warranties, guarantees, giveaways, as I just showed you, extra resources like manuals, videos, etc. Here's an example. Put the QR code there, scan it to have a lifetime warranty for bigger products and giveaways for smaller products. It could be a very valuable source of email leads, especially if you're in retail stores. Method 6, which is if you can do it the best, and that's to create a valuable newsletter. Just provide useful value through your newsletter and then get people to want to hear from you. So you can simply market what you are actually talking about in the newsletter and get people to sign up. These people will have high intent, but it's also the hardest to pull off. But you have various companies like Morning Brew who only do this. They only send valuable emails every morning, and they are worth hundreds of millions of dollars as a company. So this is something that people do. People do consume valuable information through newsletters. So this can definitely work, and we've seen customers succeed massively with this. Step 2 is to make sure the emails you gathered, the email addresses you've gathered, get the emails you're sending them in the inbox. This is important because now you have a lot of spam filters. As always, it's cheaper than ever to send emails, so it's more important for the spam filters to be good. And also Gmail, of course, have introduced the promotional tab that we would want to avoid as far as possible and get into that primary inbox. So here are my main checklists for making sure you get as high deliverability as possible. It all begins with quality. Make a quality list. Make sure you have people that engage with your emails, that are relevant emails, that doesn't bounce, like you have emails that are actually emails. These are all green lights from to the email providers and service. Then using a credible sender address and the IP, it's best to use, we usually use our support address, but if you're very big, you want to also set up a dedicated domain for sending emails and also a dedicated IP address to build your sender reputation. If you don't do anything with this, when setting up Klaviyo, for instance, you'll be on a shared IP address where you will be sharing your IP address with other brands, and they might pull down your overall score. If you have your own, you can have full control over it. Then it's optimizing subject lines to avoid kind of looking spammy, like weird characters, caps lock, etc. Personalize your messages is also good if you include personal information like their name in their email, that helps. And don't overdo it with images and videos that's usually a red flag. And also avoid words associated with spam in the copy. And then this changes all the time, so you want to stay up to date with spam legislation. That's something we try to do. And do regular health checks of your emails and email server. The best tool to use is mailtester.com. We use that regularly, and we usually get a pretty good score following these principles. And you can also see if someone has blacklisted you, and you can ask them to remove you. Then we have the strategy and framework for putting your emails together into a system. So for Volant and all our customers, we always have a campaign calendar where we plan out 3 months ahead what emails you want to send. And then we do a very structured process where we ideate, create the idea, and implement it, and then always evaluate the results after the fact and looking at the different variations, seeing what we learned, and applying that to the next batch of emails. And what I see in general is that most brands don't send enough emails. We aim to send 3 to 6 emails per month. For a while, we were doing 8 per month, but that might have been on a bit too much. But this also depends on what kind of information you're sending out. If you're sending very valuable information, you can send more. And it also depends a lot on what type of brand you are, what type of product you sell. So you need to figure this out. But usually people send too few emails, to send more. Then we also recommend to always turn on Smart Send 16 hours for campaigns. That means that if you have received an email from Volant within the last 16 hours, you will not get this campaign. For flows, on the other hand, we always turn this off, so flows are prioritized. When it comes to the flows, I always recommend making a flow chart with all your flows so you can visualize the customer journey to see what happens for different type of customer and make sure that that makes sense and that your flows play together. And then A/B testing, always run A/B tests if you can. You only need 1,000 recipients to test open rates with 2 variants of the subject line. You need 4,000 recipients to test for click rate, and you need 25,000 recipients to test for the purchase rate. So these are my recommendations. There are quick print screens from both our A/B tests and our campaign calendar. Then we have segmentation and automation. Segmentation is everything in email marketing and the reason why Klaviyo exists. The reason why this is important is because not all subscribers are created equal. And segmentation allows you to squeeze the lemon, if the lemon is your email list, to the full. If you were to send emails that were perfectly, the emails that were perfect for the average of your list, you would have to send a lot fewer emails, and you would have to send very different emails than if you could send emails that is specific to the individual that receiving the emails, and you're leaving up to 70% of the email revenue if you don't do segmenting properly. So the segmentation for a campaign that we follow is to make 3 audiences based on purchase, click, or open. So then we have first the A group. This is where you will see the most revenue. And these people are the people who have opened or clicked or purchased from us in the last 45 days, and they get all our campaigns. Then we have the B group, where they will usually get our big sales campaigns, or the ones that we know will work and will drive a lot of revenue. These are the people who have engaged with us the last 90 days. And then we have the full email list, all people that are subscribed. They get only the big sales when we know that this is the time to buy Like for Volant, that would be Black Friday. Then we would run it to all, and we would accept getting a bit of a lower open rate for these emails. All right, then we have flows. So I'm going to go through the different flows that you want to implement on your store. And I'm going to show you name, the goal, and number of emails you should have and what revenue you should expect. So for the welcome flow, that's something everybody must have in their store. And the goal is to educate the customers, build brand awareness, and of course, convert these new customers. And I recommend adding 4 to 10 emails to this flow. The simple rule you can keep in the back of your head is if you get a purchase rate of more than 1% on the last email of your flow, then you want to add another. So it can go very long if it all keeps on. Yeah. And then we have the goal should be to do 5 to 10% of total revenue in your store should come from this flow. So this is obviously the most important one. Getting this right is key. This will be kind of the first impression that new customer gets of your brand. The second flow is if you do lead generation, this will replace the welcome flow. And here you will also convert leads who have downloaded an ebook or similar, and this will replace the welcome flow as mentioned. Here I recommend doing 4 to 10 emails as well. And I usually do more plain text copy for these emails. And here you should have a goal to convert 10 to 20% of all enrolls. Third flow, or the second most important flow is the abandoned cart flow. This is of course to send emails to people who have not converted but started to check out. And here I like adding 3 to 7 emails, where the first one is just simply you have forgotten something in your cart, and then you want to, on the second one, give them an offer to save money. And then I like to follow the pattern as I do for all flows really, where it's like offer, value, offer, value, offer, value. So for the first one, you do value, you say like, this is what you have in your cart, it's now saved. Then you go offer, here you can get 10% discount. And then you go, did you know this and this about your the product that is in the cart and how you can use it to fix this and this problem, and so on. And here you follow the same principle of always adding if you have more than 1% purchase rate on the last email. This should also be about 5 to 10% of your total revenue. So this can be as important as the welcome flow. The third most important flow is the browse abandonment. Here you want to convert people who browse the products without shopping. Here you can do as little as 2 emails. I usually want to give them an offer to get a discount if they have viewed a product. But if it's a complicated product they have seen, like for instance, the Volant diffuser, you want to also educate them a little bit more about the advantages and also stack it up with some more offers. And this can do 3 to 5% of total revenue. Oh, yeah. So here we have the post-purchase flows, and your post-purchase flows should also do 3 to 10% of total revenue. And one thing that I don't see too many brands doing is taking control over their order confirmation. So here you want to own the experience after ordering. Here you have a customer that's super eager to get your product, and you can actually take over this communication from your courier and be like, now we are actually sending you the product. Now it's out for delivery and you got it. What do you think? This I will show an example of a little bit later. And here you should have 2 to 4 emails. Then we have product cross-sell, upsell flows, because you can make help people buy more from existing customers, offering relevant products that match well with the products they already got. For Volant, where we sell essential oils, you might match them with, for instance, if they bought citrusy oil, we say that, you know, the citrusy oils, they go well with the woodsy oils. So you should check out cedarwood, for instance. And that's just a very simple example of how you can try to upsell and cross-sell your customers. And here I recommend adding 2 to 6 emails, but this can be a lot more complicated if you have a lot of SKUs, but something to consider for all stores. Then you have general product education flows. This is where you inspire customers to get as much value as possible from your product. For Volant, that's a lot about using the diffuser better, giving them ideas for what kind of oils they can use in it, and also how they can use oils more in their lives. This helps us, of course, sell more as well. And I'd recommend 2 to 4 emails for your main products. Then we have the replenishment flow. In Klaviyo, you can send emails based on when they predict that they will make their next purchase. They have some machine learning there where they will predict when my next purchase of an essential oil will be. And we can send out an email providing them with an offer to refill or just generally reminding them. So here I recommend at least 1, a maximum 3 emails in this flow. Lastly, it's all about getting reviews in e-commerce. Those reviews can help you get more sales and make you look more credible. So I always like to send 1 to 3 emails in flows asking customers for both filling out customer surveys and leaving reviews at Trustpilot and our internal review system. Last flows I want to highlight is the win-back flow. This is similar to the replenishment flow. Like when you feel like you lost the customer, usually it's like half a year without interacting with either emails or anything like that. You want to send them 2 to 6 emails trying to convert them, a last-ditch effort to convert them into customers again. And then you have the sunset flow where you have completely unengaged customers and you actually want to say, okay, you know, you haven't opened the emails in a while, you haven't bought from us in a while, you just want us to unsubscribe you. This is key to add more quality to your list. So getting people off your list when they're not engaging is actually very important for your overall performance. Lastly, we're going to look at how to actually make amazing emails that get open, get clicked, and ultimately give you a bunch of extra revenue. So the general principle we follow is that you build value with the content emails, and then you cash in on that goodwill with the sales emails. So the actual important part is providing value and being interesting and all that throughout the year. And the better job you've done of that, the more you can cash in when Black Friday comes, when the big sales seasons comes. So a principle you can keep in the back of your head is that you want to give 4 times for every time you ask for something. So you would provide value in form of stories, news, information 4 times before you send the email asking for the sale, either by giving a discount or by just generally pushing for a sale in your campaigns. And you also want to make sure that you have consistency in all your emails, and also that your emails represent your brands in a good way, that it has the same style, it has the same wording, it looks like your website basically. Then we have the timing matters. Test yours. For Volant, 7 p.m. has been a winner, but this can be very different depending on your customer type. I know, for instance, if you have a brand that targets new parents, you usually want to go very late in the evening after they've put their kids to bed. And yeah, this is unique. Every business is a snowflake. You need to test the different times and figure this out. And then you have the emails should be optimized to be as small as possible in terms of actual bits. You want to reduce the images to be as small as possible, GIFs to be as small as possible, but at the same time, look as good as possible. You don't want those emails look pixelated, but if you make them too big, they might not get loaded by the email provider, or they might actually cut your email in half, especially Gmail does this. And then in general, you just need to be a great designer, and you need to be great at writing copy and create that engaging content that people love to engage with. And that means having something either interesting, useful, or entertaining to say, or preferably all the above. That's something you always should have in the back of your minds. So my question to you then is where you are today. I see now that I lost my screen. So I don't know, Augustina, can you activate that poll with the different levels of email marketing? Because the number one level you can be at is that you don't have an email marketing strategy today. The number two is that you spam customers with constant offers that nobody cares about. This is usually only talking about yourself, your products, and also just always asking for the sale. There you'll see that you'll have less than 5 cents revenue per recipient, open rates below 15%, and click rates below 0.2%. And then you have the bronze medal, is that you send regular emails, but it's usually just like, okay, we have a sale, this product is now out, like always, like just doing it well, but doing it very like basic and cookie cutter. And here you would expect 5 to 15 cents, open rates of 15 to 30%, and click rates from 0.2 to 0.5. And then you have the silver strategy, where I think most of brands that do well in email marketing are like us with Volant. We have a balanced strategy. We provide a lot of value. We follow the four gives for one take, and we have exciting offers. It's usually quite entertaining and quite newsworthy, everything, and we can expect 15 to 30 cents of revenue per recipient, and 30 to 40% open rates, and 0.5 to 1.5% click rates. And then you of course have the absolute winners, where I like to say that every time a customer, or most customers or subscribers, see that they got an email from this brand, they get a small dopamine hit. Like, I gotta open this, I gotta see what's inside, because they've actually created that rapport. And I know a couple of brands who have, and their results can be astronomical. They can go way beyond these measures that I've set up here as well. So that's really the gold standard that we all should aspire towards. But at least the second place there should be achievable for about any brand. Then you have great ideas for emails that you can general categories. First is product reviews and recommendations, deals and promotions. Like we talked about, this is where you ask, use updates about your products, and stories about what your brand does that makes it unique, and also interviews with your actual customers and influencers, not directly talking about your brand, but more talking about them and maybe how you've assisted them in solving a problem or something like that. Then you have your blogs, helpful tips regarding solving the problem your brand tries to solve. And I also like to run quizzes sometimes, where you ask people for when their birthday are, favorite product, what type of person you are. That usually is good. Like, test what type of person you are, or what your zodiac signs tells you about what essential oils you should use. Like, there are multitude of opportunities. And what's great about Klaviyo is that this information can be fed back into Klaviyo and stored on the customer. So you, for instance, can send out a flow every birthday with a birthday gift to your customers. So I'm going to give you some examples of emails that adds value through stories, beautiful imagery, useful tips, and entertainment. I realize now this is very hard to see, but here we have a Norwegian brand called Amundsen Clothing, who explains the concept that we have here in Norway to go climb up mountains on skis, and shows beautiful images from a person, a customer of them doing that. Then we have a British brand that sells like silk clothing, and here they are explaining the art of layering and just adding beautiful pictures to their emails, as they always do. Then there's a brand that I really like that you all should subscribe to for their emails, is By Humankind. Here they're explaining like why aluminium packaging is great, and that's also what they use for their product. So obviously they're going to get some sales from this as well, but it's really useful education on why aluminium is the most environmentally friendly form of packaging. Then we have another Norwegian brand called DB. They sell luggage, and here they kind of tell a story from an influencer that tells a story about how he likes to travel and how he likes to pack and stuff like that. So it's kind of related to their brand, but not that they're actually selling anything. And here's an example from us in Volant, where we talk about how to become happier with kindness, and sharing a story from our CMO Kim, telling the customer about how you can help dogs, basically. And this is an example of us trying to add value. Then we have customer stories, more specifically. Here you have like collaborations, product launch, product features, product story, sorry. And from also the brand Amundsen, you have here, they're launching a new product for shoes, and they're just like beautifully explaining how the shoe work and why it's better, and also the reviews, not like really asking for a sale in a pushy way, but more educating the customer. Here you have DB, who did the same. They did something quite noteworthy by putting a big version of their backpack on the top of a car and coloring a porch in the same color as their new color that they're launching here, and partner with one of the most famous alpine skiers in Norway to present the product launch. So that's like obviously something that people will be like, wow, this is kind of interesting. This is different. This is something I need to read and see. And then we have By Humankind, that kind of tells a story about how they made their natural deodorants. And here we also have Amundsen again, showing how their one of their products work and how it's great for Easter. And for Volant, we usually launch a product with the oil of the month, where we have kind of like an engaging quiz, where we give our customers 3 hints, and then if you pick the right hint, or if you pick the right oil, you get a discount. Then we have sales emails. Here you're cashing in on the goodwill, and your job is to state the offer clearly and have a very, very clear call to action, and create a sense of urgency and scarcity. So here is our best performing email ever. This email, we did $60,000 from a load. And what we did here is that we had 30% off the entire store. And then we clearly communicated that you could get extra benefits from buying more, like adding more to your basket, and you would be getting extra discounts and extra free gifts. Then we have a countdown timer, where we are showing that this won't last forever. We have a clear CTA button, and we have some reassuring text under, showing that you got free shipping, and you have free returns, and you have many people who have reviewed this product and love it. And this was another sale that worked really well for us. That was not Black Friday. And here is a very interesting way of approaching this as well, because one thing you need to remember is that these text emails that are just text, you usually get higher open rate. Of course, here you can get the brand across way better, but this is a brand I know are making a lot of money from email marketing. And here it's basically like a Easter sale that they're running out, and it's long form copy that kind of like just pulls you into that slippery slope, and you can't get out. You just have to keep on reading this copy. It's so hypnotizing, and at the end you kind of get an offer. And this is also a route that some brands can take. This is especially true within like supplements and more high ticket items. And then you also have DB's example here. They're also running on scarcity, more simple than us, and also adding like their countdown timer, and just very simply stating the offer more simply than what we have done here before. Lastly, I have a flow example. I talked about this earlier, that we had a flow in Volant where we take over the order confirmation flow. We try to make an experience that's timely, and we try to stand out, and we always tell a story. So what we do here is like, when a customer places an order, they say like, Tobias, this is a big deal. And then we tell a story about, it was another mundane day at the office when Olivia received an email and she exclaims, we did it. And we got an order from Tobias Nervik, which is the customer. And that's kind of how this story goes along. Like, we make a fictional story about how we're so excited about getting your order. And then we also, of course, provide information that you can use a receipt, like you know that you actually placed the order. And then we send a mail saying that this is the order. And we also had a video that you can look at to see how the diffuser works. And then you have an order, your order is in transit. This is information you can automatically get from Aftership that is again connected with your courier. And then we have like, your order is out for delivery. Actually, we're also sending, we're also adding like asking them to check out our Facebook group. And then lastly, enjoy it. And we also add like a request to leave a review at the end. So we can always like give them useful information while tying in useful bits about our brand. So lastly, we have the subject lines. 80% of ad money is spent on the title. This is also true for emails, and subject lines, they are the title of the email. I have one recommendation, is to go short or go long when it comes to subject lines. You don't want to be in between. You want to, of course, always fit the style to your brand. Emojis works for some, all caps works for some, others not. And then you want to focus on conveying curiosity, attention, grabbing headlines, news, authority, personalized content, and benefits. So let's dive into some examples. I'll show you the principle, then the keywords for that principle, and then I have just quickly made a example that's not going to be the best in the world, but it's going to give you an idea of how to apply the principle. The first one is curiosity. You want to be incomplete. You want to get people to want to read on. Well, this is a bit badly formatted, but miss this email secret at your own risk, and you want to read it. And then you have attention grabbing, shocking, contradictions, challenges, and questions. And we have very good results one time with sending, don't open this email. It's very short. And it's like, oh, that's weird that they're asking me not to open this email. And they open it. You need to deliver from there on though. Then you have news oriented. This one was one that did well for Volant. We said like, there's a fight in our warehouse. Last chance to get your diffuser before we sell out. Of course, also a lot of urgency with this one. Then we have the authority, where you use expert, celebrity, customer endorsements to support your subject line. And then example, a dream scenario would be to why Jessica Alba swears to using Volant essential oils in her wellness routine. Personalized, you want to give people recognition and give them something they would be specifically curious about. So I could mention the customer's name, Tobias, get 50% off eucalyptus oil, your favorite essential oils. That's something you would know in Klaviyo. And then you have benefits. is to gain pleasure, avoid pain or loss. And an example to that would be like double your revenue without spending more on Facebook ads, which is the basic idea of email marketing. And yeah, that's about it. I think we got through on time. And now we open up for questions and answers. So let me quickly stop sharing here. All right. Yeah, I see you, Robert. You have some questions. Yeah, we'll definitely do more webinars. We do one webinar every month. Oh, let me see. You put it into questions here. Yeah, question from Isak. You're asking, you're selling cars, and at the moment you have no email strategy, but it's something you're looking into. How do you email marketing things? Yeah, how realistic is it to sell? Yeah, how realistic is it to sell cars through email marketing? That's basically your question. I would say that it definitely, you should definitely have an email marketing strategy, but how easy it would be to sell, it's hard to say before you start trying. But I definitely think that although you might not get conversions from email marketing, you can keep them top of mind and also provide a lot of reassurance of why they should actually buy the car. But I'm wondering, is this like a moped car or something? So you're probably targeting like parents or very young people, or no, used cars. It's used cars. Yeah, it's hard to say. Well, we just have to try. I think it's definitely possible if your other marketing does work and you're able to sell through that. Let's see if there's any other questions in the chat. Robert, you're mentioning, yeah, where we're from. We're Norwegian, and for the news coverage, we have been in all those media outlets. So the strategy we've used there is to use something called Haro. So you can check that out, and that means help a reporter out. And you can receive an email every morning where you get all the reporters in the world that need help from a brand to answer something. And you can basically just say like, oh, we're looking for an essential oil expert. And then we could be, hey, we're kind of experts in that. And we got featured, and we've also been reaching out to all this these media outlets. So that's how we have achieved that, Robert, and it really helps, of course, from a zero perspective. Yeah, I guess that's about it in terms of questions. We could just, oh really? I'll find you the link. It's called Help a Reporter. .com. It's very useful if you have like something that reporters are curious about. This really helps. All right. So lastly, I would say that email marketing is a great opportunity for all e-commerce brands in general. If you want to get opinion on how your email marketing works, don't hesitate to reach out to me on Tobias at DTC Vikings. Oh, that's missing one S. And I will, for free, review your strategy and provide you with suggestions for what you should do to improve it. And yeah, if you want help with email marketing, that's also something we do in DTC Vikings. Reach out and we can see if we are fit. So thank you all for following along on this webinar this Friday. Have a very good weekend, everyone. Bye-bye.